Push button right here. Hello?
I'm the worst one of all of them. I'm trying to teach somebody. I'm still seven whole nine. Okay.
What? Can you hear me now? Okay, good. Thank you. Good afternoon. The Brownfield Redevelopment Authority will now come to order January 8th, 2026. Teresa, roll call.
Samoset Yates,
Here.
Ivy Chandler. James Bennett Jr.,
Here.
Paul Tony,
Here.
Satana Warren, Emma Kennard,
Present.
Mary Alice Adams,
Present.
James Childs, Emma Hall.
Present.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Teresa, I'd like you to introduce our new members, and I don't remember being here when she was introduced, and have welcomed them to the board and have them to tell a little something about themselves and why they want to be part of the board of Benton Harbor.
We do have them as our second item, but I think it makes sense to have that come first. So welcome to our new board members. We have Samoset Yates, did start back in October. Chair Hull wasn't here at that time. We have Mr. Paul Tony and James Bennett Jr. If you guys each want to take a minute to introduce yourself. And I am Teresa Searles, Brownfield Consultant with Fishbeck.
My name is Sam Rosette Yates. I'm a resident of Benton Harbor, Michigan. I'm also a homeowner over 20 years now. I was once served on this board. I had a beauty salon downtown called Beyond Basic Salon. So I once served on this board before, and I just wanted to serve again.
My name is James Bennett Jr. I've been a resident in Barron County for over 30 years, retired state trooper. Started over here back in 1989, came from Detroit. My wife is a school teacher here. I can't think of her school right now, but it's the middle school down from the Toyota dealership, whatever that is. I can't remember off the top. But anyway, honored to be on the board. I've seen a lot of changes in Benton Harbor over the years that I've been here. And I remember when I first came here in '89, it was something to behold. But especially working here as a state trooper, working in the city. But I've certainly seen the changes, and I want to be a part of that. And anything I can do to add to Benton Harbor becoming the city that it once was, I'm all for that. And as long as we're all on one accord, I think we can do great things.
My name is Paul. My name is Paul Tony. I am a retired educator for 30 years that I did that, and coach, second avocation rather. That is, I'm a painting contractor as of now. I do live here. I live in the township, about out in the new subdivision there off of Enterprise Way. I was asked to be a participant on this committee, and I look forward to being on the committee and seeing what I can do to help keep it going like it's going.
Welcome. Board members want to state your name and who you are, and so they'll know who we are.
I'm Emma Kennard.
City.
Yes, and everyone pretty much know that I've been a part of the Brownfield for a number of years. I'm a commissioner at large, also here in Benton Harbor, and normally I love what I'm doing, and I like to see progress in the best interest of the city. So that's what I'm here for. So I'd like to thank you. Also, I'd like to say that James Childs, Reverend James Childs, I heard you say that there's no more openings, but he had resigned or his term was up and he didn't. And so when you said there was no more seats open, I was just, and I heard you calling for the roll call. So that's why I'm questioning that. Thank you.
So James Child's appointment has expired. He did not submit an application for reappointment, but the way your bylaws work is you can continue to serve until you're formally replaced. So that position has not been formally replaced yet. So technically, he's still an active member of the board.
Thank you.
My name is Ivy Chandler. I've been a member for the past year now. And just also want to be a part of the positive changes that are occurring in our city.
Hello, my name is Satana Warren. I'm the second ward commissioner for the city of Benton Harbor. I've been on the Brownfield for about 5 years. Time is flying. I joined because Commissioner Adams told me about it, and he wanted to get people involved, and he got me involved. So I joined. I'm enjoying my time here and a positive impact that we have been having on the city. Thank you.
My name is Mary Alice Adams, a lifelong resident of Benton Harbor. After leaving for a while and coming back home in 1998, I was very disappointed in what I saw. So actually, a commissioner recommended this board after it was about to be reformed, thought that it would be a nice fit, and I've been sitting here making decisions for great change that all eyes can see now since 2002. And I continue to plan to continue to do just what I do.
Thank you. My name is Emma Hall. I've been on this board since its inception in 2002. I've been excited about working to see changes. I will never, ever say that Benton Harbor has gone down. It just took a different turn, like all cities do. And Mr. Little's been here working years ago. We all have been working, trying to, whatever problems we have, we work to try to rebuild and continue to move forward. We just get new faces to help us. So we're so excited about all the people that wants to come and be part of the revitalization. It's so much, much, much going on in the city of Benton Harbor under this administration, and we want to continue to see that it happens, and we're here to do all we can to make it work. So welcome, 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 and I'm excited about all the board members that have been here that's holding the fort down to make a difference and to make it work. Real excited. So thank you so much for your service. Okay, now we want to get out of here early, so don't be doing all that service talking back.
Okay, it's next. Now, we did that. Now we have to review it next. We need a motion to approve. Motion to approve with.
Need a second. Need a second.
Second.
Are there any concerns, questions? Okay, you know how it works.
Okay, and my concern is the conversation that we had that I think that we need to revisit and give the new board members an opportunity to give their input as to how it relates to us traveling to different conventions and educational sessions. So if we could put that back on the agenda for the near future.
So right now, we're just approving.
Approving the minutes.
Yeah.
We'll,
But she asked, was there any adjustments?
no, okay, we're approving the minutes. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so are there any changes
Any
to the
other,
minutes?
no.
Okay.
Any more concerns, discussions? Hearing none, roll call.
Warren,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Chandler, Kennard, Tony,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hull.
Yes. Okay, now,
Minutes are approved 8-0.
thank you. This portion is open for public comments. We ask that you come to the podium, state your name and address, and speak your comments.
Oh,
Oh, what you want?
my apologies. So we did already do the board welcome, but we did just receive this communication.
You want to read it?
Well, I haven't had a chance to read it yet. It's from Mr. Little, so perhaps he could summarize it.
Okay. We'll good at the next meeting, too, but go ahead and summarize it, Mr. Little.
Of the letter is a request to the Brownfield Authority for cooperation with the city in terms of its overall development program. Brownfield Authority, like Housing Authority, like Takata, these are entities of the city that perform certain specific purposes that help to benefit and improve the city. Transit is a very important item when you're trying to rebuild a city, so we want to do everything we can to make it successful and able to do the things it needs to do for people in the city. The DDA, for example, has a very specific role that is permitted under the law, and we want to keep it active in order to do the things that it can do to help as a part of this overall development program. You may have recently noticed that we, for example, use the DDA mechanism to authorize another liquor license specifically in that area, and at the $20,000 real price, as opposed to the 80 and 90,000 and 100 that people bid to get licenses that other people put into escrow and so forth. Likewise, Brownfield Authority is a very important tool that we use as a part of the overall economic development plan. We as a city work continuously to try and identify developers, projects, things that fit and will promote the city, add to the tax base, rebuild our population, and all of those things that are related to economic development. The key features that are available, but you need a mechanism like this in order to make them available, is, for example, in '93, the legislature approved new legislation that would allow this body to do tax increment financing for housing. Prior to that, it was allowed to do tax increment financing for commercial and industrial and so forth. There are a number of other tools that don't necessarily require a body like this that are available for tax write-offs and so forth to help cities develop and bring in new business. What we're doing, I've had some discussions with the mayor and with some of the other commissioners over time, we're trying to utilize these organizations to the maximum to try and help accomplish the overall purpose. And also, in order to do that, because just to be frank, we're a city financially that's stressed out. We have been stressed out ever since those emergency managers left here back around 2015. We found ourselves in the utilities area running a significant deficit. That deficit occurred at the point when we stopped pumping 7.5 million gallons a day of water and 8 million gallons, and now we're at 1. But we still got the same size plant there. The shortfall gets picked up by general fund. We just had a similar situation occur this past year as we were doing all of the road improvement work and sewer and water replacement on grants that were made available to the city with the understanding that it would cover everything. After this administration got in Washington, first spring of last year, we got contacted by Eagle saying, a mistake, that we're going to have to pay back some of that. That emptied the road fund. Road fund's a separate fund, but it's all tied to the general fund. just as the income tax and all of them are. The shortage that has to be made up to keep water operation going comes out of general fund. Since road fund has been depleted to pay that back, if there's a problem and we've got to address it, we can't just step back and say we're not going to fix a big hole because the road fund has no money. We have to jump in the general fund and do it. Likewise, this organization is impacted in terms of whatever decisions are being made by a process that's at law here where the city forgoes immediate tax revenues that could come in to support its general fund and its operations. It forgoes it in order to allow this body to allow that business we're assisting to recoup part of their costs that are eligible under the law for Brownfield until that's done. That often runs 20 and 30 years. And during that time period, the city don't get that tax revenue. Yet the city has to provide police services, fire services, inspection services, on and on and on. So it's very important that we work together to ensure that we're utilizing, because that money that you have flexibility with, it comes from the 5% that you gather after the developers have recouped theirs. That money is available and could be used to help deal with some of the city's needs and so forth, that the city does not have money for otherwise. We're going through all kinds of changes to try and increase and improve services with our very limited resources. A perfect example, year before last, and that was the last year that we had that money that was available under ARPA. I believe the city spent almost $400,000 cutting grass, and frankly, it wasn't done very well. And I got out and told the people that we were working with that, listen, if we don't improve this, you won't be doing it next year. So we didn't spend another $400,000 this past year, and we didn't get it done any better than what I wanted it done, but it was no worse than what had been done when we did spend $400,000. So we're using everything that we can to help. You helped us this past year when, for the first time in I don't know how many years, we tore down 15 housing units here. I had been working on trying to get those units demolished since I walked in the door October 20 of 2020. But all of the steps and whatnot necessary to get it done, we kept going through them. We found when we tried to do 5 houses or 10 houses that we didn't get bids from the major demolition contractors, folks whose business that was to do that. We got business from contractors who'd like to do it, but they came in at $50,000 a unit, $80,000 a unit, half of what it would cost to build a house. But by banding them together and putting them out as 15 of them, we did get a demolition contractor to bid. In fact, we had several bid, and we got decent prices. The bid prices for those 15 houses ran from the low bid of about $550,000 up to a high bid of $1.1 million. We went with the lower one, but even with that, it was still more than what we had left in terms of CDBG money. You helped us with that by using part of that 5% money to enable us to tear down the remaining 5 units. There are many areas like this that we're running into shortfalls. For example, we don't have a parks department or parks maintenance operation. Yet we've had the good fortune through grants from the state and the feds before things changed in Washington to get money to make improvements like we're making the Hall Park, like we're doing in Bobo, Brazil, and with the help of Whirlpool, the Union Park, the June Woods Park, the Yarborough Park. We're going to have maintenance and operational needs that we don't have money for. We may need to come to you if you've got revenue that could be used to help do those things that would take priority over perhaps some other things that some would like to do. And toward that end, the city wants to work with you and have you work with us so that we all achieve the best that we can. When these projects that we work on get to you, like Project T, I started working on Project T in 2021, and it took a while to get everything to the point where we were able to come here to get involved with the financing. We've got several other projects that are at least a year and a half to 2 years in the making that we hope to bring to you before long. So that's all it's about. It's not a power grab. If the city had the money it needed, I wouldn't even be raising the question beyond what the impact on other boards would be. As I said, we've got these other boards, the city doesn't have the money to pay them. They may have money to pay them, but all of them may not have it equally. So we can pay some and not pay others. Do one thing with one board, something different with another. We're trying to make this whole organization work and accomplish an end that I hope that we're all dedicated to.
Okay,
Get to respond.
yeah, I'm going to respond. Mr. Little, I understand that, and we've been here for 20 years, longer, working as the arm of the city of Benton Harbor, like you told us. We're not here to provide all the opportunities. We're here to help the city. We are an arm to spur development, to be a help where we can financially or any other help. But also, we have a mission too. We have a mission to work with this board so that we can get developers to come in so that they can clean up, help you clean up when you take houses down so that we can have them develop. And when they come in, we are here to give them some money back so they'll feel good about wanting to develop and work in our city. So we're trying to do all we can to help the city of Benton Harbor to move forward. That's what we are here for. We are here to do everything, and we have done everything. When you came to us, number one, city first, because we work with the cities. We want things to happen for the city. But also, we have a mission too. And so we have to work with our mission to do what we can to make things happen for the people in the city of Benton Harbor so they can spur development. Now, if we get more houses, if we get more things happening, more taxes come in. And more taxes come in, it give us more revenue so that the city can do some things. Right now, I know you're at a low tax base. The city's at a low tax base. But when we get more houses, we got how many empty lots that's not bringing in no taxes at all? We got so much stuff that's not bringing in. When they get developed and we can give them some money for development and put them back on the tax roll, not only just housing, business and everybody else. That's what we want, so that the city can see themselves financially moving forward, and they'll be able to do and operate without being operating in a deficit. So, but we also have to look out into our community and say there are some needs there too. And so, but we want to work, and we are working. There's no way we cannot work with the city of Benton Harbor, because if without the city, we would not have this brownfield. And we're going to do all we can to work with the city of Benton Harbor. But we also want to work as the mission of our community. And you have done and still doing a great job in this community, Mr. Little. You have your hands full. You're trying to do everything, and you're doing it, and you're doing it so good. So much is happening up under your leadership here. And we want to continue to support you in your leadership, and this board will try to do all they can to support you where they can. We really appreciate you. You know we appreciate you. You've been working years and years and years, and thank you so much for this letter.
I understand we are an arm of the city. And according to the master plan, I think we should all be on the same page. I absolutely agree. Given that you forego those taxes that we do these brownfield plans for, is it possible or could it not, or I wouldn't see any problem with having a line item for just those things you're talking about that the city may fall short for? Is that a possibility, to have that kind of line item?
We don't have to answer that now, we can do that later, for that night. Go ahead.
I just want to. This is what I want to say. Because I found it very convenient, and sometimes I wished I could forget stuff. But it was very convenient being an elected official, making decisions, and what comes out of this authority comes before me as an elected official because I'm together on one page with decision making. And sometimes we have to prioritize as well. See, we can't be, my thing is, what I've learned mostly about being a Brownfield Authority board member, the greatest thing, and I've heard this song sung about we don't have a workforce. Because of this authority right here and being able to travel, we found ways that are actually working across country that we neglected to put into place, and we still don't have a workforce, and this has been every bit of 20 years. We can't buy equipment knowing that we don't have the bodies to run them. We have to do things in a manner of which they work together. My thing is putting something together and working with the same song I've been singing about, this commission as a whole in city government, working with our school system instead of in bits and pieces, and we still don't have a workforce. If this body puts something together in the form of training, it's well on its way, because I have the state's ears as well as the federal government ears, and this board, I'm hoping, will finally hear an answer to some of all of our prayers.
So I did get to read this letter, and I think it brings up some valid points. I mean, when you have a small amount of money, you want to make sure you use it as efficiently and as effectively as possible. So if you have that small amount of money and you can spur a large development, of course, that's going to bring in what we're looking for, the large amount of residents. So it's just somewhat common sense. You definitely want to use that small pool the most effective way as possible. So that's where it comes in with the expertise of the individuals on the board to look at that and say, okay, is this efficient? Is this effectively when we're using the money? So I think these are very valid concerns that if you haven't read it, I think you guys should read it so we can make sure we're doing the right thing, go forward by the city.
And talking about and the difference in perspectives. Now, Ms. Adams just talked about the absence of a workforce. And in response to that, she talked about training. The absence of a workforce doesn't have anything to do with training. It has to do with the absence of people who are able, willing, and interested in doing the work. The workforce we have, most of it is occupied working, but unfortunately, not in the kinds of jobs and returning the kind of income that would really address the problem. Your workforce is having housing here that's sufficient to attract people who are able to make a mid-range to upper income. And to maintain, pay for that home, pay for the maintenance of that home, pay the taxes on that home, own and operate businesses, and so forth.
Just a little, I think she spoke out of turn. We had a workforce program. We had a workforce program here, and wait just a moment. And we checked with the businesses here, and they said, well, we can't hire nobody because we don't have nobody in your community that's able to do the work. So we said, we'll stand them at the door. So we put in a workforce program, and we put people and stood them at the door. And when we stood them at the door, they said that they're not hiring right now because when they moved in, they brought their own people with them. And they wasn't hiring nobody else. So, but these people that we did use and train, they found jobs other places in other cities. And then after a while, then we did not have a workforce program because it kind of phased out because we couldn't afford to keep it because we wasn't putting the people at the door. So let's don't go back. Let's move forward. Let's try to do what we can now and move this city forward. Now, Teresa, what you want to do?
The only comment I wanted to make is there are statute limitations on what this board can and cannot do and what you can spend your funds on. We actually have that as an agenda item. It's a new business, so it is the last item of our agenda. But there are definitely good and valuable things that you aren't able to spend your money on because you're limited by statute. So I just wanted to keep that in mind, that Act 381 does spell out what you can use your funds for.
Thank you, Teresa. Okay, anything else?
Not at this time, but I look forward to working with you all, perhaps in some types of sessions where we can really get into the detail of understanding some of those things.
Yes.
Because one of the things, for instance, for example, Project T, other than the pilot that was added toward the end, there won't be any tax money to come to the city on that project. And that's not a negative.
Yeah. Well,
But it'll be 25 years.
of course, that's the nature of doing business.
Negotiated that.
Yeah, that's the nature of doing business.
The law.
That's the law, okay.
All right.
So we can't deal with
know
that.
that.
Yeah, okay. Next,
That's all for communications.
thank you. Now we have public comments. What happened?
I sprained my ankle on Christmas Eve.
Oh, no.
It's slow to repair itself.
Would it be ready by the time for the,
I hope so, but I probably won't be wearing my beloved high heels.
oh, Lord have mercy.
But that aside, good afternoon. My name is Tracy Ann Bullocks, and I do come to you this afternoon as a representative of both NOR, Neighbors Organizing Against Racism, and the 2026 Michigan Black Summit. Coming before you in the spirit of partnership and collaboration as well, to implore you as a body to consider partnering with the 2026 Michigan Black Summit to market our beloved community. Earlier last year, Chairman Trenton Bowens and I came before this body and presented a plan, the Imagine Benton Harbor Marketing and Development Plan, for your consideration and review. I believe that initiative was tabled. However, at this time, and as time is drawing near for the 2026 Black Summit, I do once again want to, if I may, implore you to consider partnering with us to market our beloved community. So a little bit about the Black Summit for those of you that are unfamiliar. This is a statewide initiative that we do bill as the Blackest Weekend in Benton Harbor, the first weekend in February. This is our fourth summit, but it draws individuals from every corner of the state, every region of the state. So this is a convening to talk specifically about highs and lows, troubleshoot and successes, about all issues that are facing Black Michiganders and Black communities within Michigan. One of the reasons why we are coming before the Brownfield Authority is really because you think about the authority, it is fundamentally about correcting past harms, restoring opportunities, and creating sustainable economic growth. The mission of this body and of Brownfield Authority directly aligns with the purpose of the Michigan Black Summit. We have been very grateful for the support of the Brownfield Authority in years past and are looking forward to, if possible, continuing our partnership as we are gaining steam and popularity across the state. What Neighbors Organizing Against Racism essentially is looking to do as well is to market our community for development, for redevelopment, for opportunities to help see our community grow and thrive. We are working closely also with Michigan Economic Development Corporation and the Department of Agriculture on some projects to yet be named and promoted in this upcoming year. But really, like I said, you've gotten a brief two-pager that speaks to our reasoning behind wanting to partner with the authority, and would just like to implore you all, if you would consider partnering by way of sponsorship of the summit and attendance and promotion as we look to promote the fair city of Benton Harbor as well. It has been very important to us to maintain a presence within Benton Harbor as opposed to going to Detroit or Grand Rapids or Kalamazoo to host the summit, because one of the things that we really want to do is promote our city and promote positivity and good things happening in our city. And for those of you who may not have had the pleasure of attending the summit, you really get a chance to see thought leaders, political leaders, community members, advocates, organizers, everyone in this room talking about ways in which we can improve life outcomes for Black Michiganders all around. But realistically, one of our big pushes is to promote Benton Harbor. Benton Harbor is the birthplace of the summit. Benton Harbor is where the chair and co-chair both reside, and we have been committed and dedicated to keeping it here in this community while also promoting this community and highlighting opportunities within. I think that's it in a nutshell. I hope I can answer.
Thank you for that presentation.
Oh, no problem.
But on last year, we
Yeah.
supported
Yes.
the Black Summit. Okay, what is the progress that you got from last year when we did support up to here? What is what was that? What did we benefit in our support for?
So I will say this, and then I will defer to the coach or the chairman. One of the things that the whole point of the summit, and now keep in mind, please, that this is just a 2-day convening, but the purpose and the point of the summit is to allow individuals from all communities and across communities to come to our community, to bear witness to, like I said, the opportunities and whatnot, but also to glean and garner solutions for their own communities to go back to and to affect change. So this is not just a Benton Harbor thing, but what I would say is we have at least assisted in bringing awareness and visibility to issues to issues that plague these communities. Now, I can't tell you what they're doing as a result in Saginaw, Detroit, or Flint. I can't say that. I don't have that quantified information right now. But I will say that
I'm going to answer
this
that.
event
Let-
at least gets a chance to highlight this community and issues that happen and occur, not only in this community, but in others as well, in other Black communities
Yeah.
statewide.
I'm so
The one thing that I wanted to say is our chairperson had said last year that we would support them, but we have to see that
Yeah.
it is working.
right.
And we want to know what it was the progress in us supporting you last year.
Yeah.
What is the documentation from all of the that you all
Yeah.
partnered with? That
Yeah.
what are we getting really working
Let me
and
say
and getting out of this?
I'm so-
Thank you.
Commissioner, I'm so glad you asked that question.
So am I.
'Cause I felt the same way. But you know what? People came, governors from other places in this little Benton Harbor, and they spoke, they talked. They talked about what could happen in Benton Harbor, how they could bring money in here, how they need Benton Harbor. They had people from Detroit, Chicago, all over the country, black city people. I'm not city, but you call them up high up from the government. What'd you say? What you say? Leadership. They came in and they spoke about what Benton Harbor needs, what they put Benton Harbor on the map. Now, when they go back, they're going to remember this little Benton Harbor and say, we need to put some funds in there. I've been there. These people are trying. They're trying to work to do something. Santina had a beautiful outreach there to market, to bring people in, to market programs so they can come in when these lands get open.
Are these mics this bad?
That's correct. So you cannot see it now. Can't see it now. It's going to take a little time. But I felt the same way. What are they doing? What's going on here? I sit through the whole thing. The information. See, we information poor here. We don't know nothing. Been here, we don't know nothing. We don't come out. We don't see no nothing. But when you go and network and see these things happening, it makes a big difference. And it's going to take time. You know, you didn't do all that. Now, I can talk forever, but you won't talk when...
Yes. So, Commissioner Kennard, we partnered with the MEDC, Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and Michigan Black Business Association, teaching our entrepreneurs. Everybody wants to say, I want to be a lawn care owner, but it's more than just buying lawn care equipment. You have to be in Emerge Hub. You have to be trained. One of the things that we asked was, how many black businesses do we have in Benton Harbor? And everybody raised their hand, but when you ask how many are registered in the minority small business association, nobody is there. So we have implemented classes to assist with that. What it did also do is create relationships with Labor Economic Office, the Labor Economic Office, and with the state laws that they're implementing and appropriations and everything. One thing that we do have this year, it's 2020, yeah. One thing that we do have this year is we have the Senate Appropriations Chair that hands the pocketbook, and she will be present at the summit. And we have Mishta, where Benton Harbor is promoting housing as the place, and we want to do with our master plan. We have Mishta coming. We have the Senate Appropriations. We have State Representative Amos Neal, State Representative Sylvia Santana, State Representative Tanya Myers. These are our black legislators that want to do a town hall here to see how can they get revenue, how can they advocate for the black communities? And let me just make sure I'm saying that. How can they advocate for all communities? But at the Black Summit, they're doing a focus. So change takes time, as Mayor Hall said. It takes time, but we have implemented things. On February 18th, we have a business meeting with Michigan Department of Ag, where, I don't know if you ever heard of Valley Hub. Valley Hub is in Kalamazoo. We have a food desert here, and it's been taking a little longer than what we're anticipating, but we want to get food from the box garden to the homes. So they're implementing it like they were supposed to do last year. It's been a delay. Delay's not a denial, thank God. But they are implementing it to start moving on that. They've been coming to the Black Summit. They do this, and what we're also highlighting is what happens when the city partners with Brownfield, when they partner with businesses. So we're highlighting and giving them a tour of Harbor Shores. I know the 425 agreement is expiring this year, or it expired last year, but we're promoting that. So the summit is bringing people in, creating the atmosphere for investment, tourism, and we call it the Black Mackinac. Our counterparts, European counterparts, go to Mackinac Island for their policy and to discuss their plans. We're having people come to Benton Harbor to discuss the Black agenda, and that's what we're doing. So.
So, may I?
Yes. Oh.
And I just want to say thank you for coming up with such a marvelous idea, especially after coming out of emergency management, working with all these other underserved communities in the state of Michigan where we can't seem to get along with each other because there's such a disconnect. And this right here gives us and affords us an opportunity as Black people to come together, though we welcome all allies. I really appreciate that because that's exactly what needs to happen, and it shouldn't have taken something like the George Floyd to bring people together, but that's exactly what it has done. And just because it wasn't my idea doesn't mean that I'm not going to support it, because I hope that this is something long-term for our babies that we're worried about out killing each other. We'll learn to better socialize with one another. Thank you.
So the issue more at hand for us is the whole marketing, because that's how we were able to support it last year, was through a marketing campaign. So it's a wonderful program, but we should be talking about specifically what we would have to do as Brownfield. And my question is, in September, is Trenton gone?
He had to make a call. Or
Okay, well, I think he might have sent this email. So Trenton, now what I'm getting ready to ask is, I think it was September, you had sent out Imagine Benton Harbor to us.
So yes, we did send out Imagine Benton Harbor after talking to individuals we were told to hold and reach out. We have a talk with MEDC on also promoting that. I don't know if you remember years ago, gosh, I feel old saying that, but years ago in the early 2000s, we used to do Invest in Michigan. They used to have those tourisms. What we believe is, if we're promoting Benton Harbor as the place to grow, the place for opportunity, and, you know, we got the water, I'm sorry, I'm going all over, but we got the water and all the resources. So the Imagine Benton Harbor is part of the Black Summit, because it's promoting and marketing Benton Harbor.
I just want to get to my question super quick. So the initial proposal, I don't know if everyone saw this email up here. It was a while ago, but it was too expensive. So 59,000.
There was a formal presentation in October, and so the board did receive all those.
Okay, so I guess everybody received it, but I just want to bring it up because they're here. So just keeping it real, we can't afford that. So
Yeah,
I guess what I'm
understand it. That's what we
asking
talked.
is, I see the documents you gave us, but did you come up with like a new proposal or anything, or they did?
I think you came up with 20, didn't you?
Yes.
Proposal of 20 and under.
May I add this? The Brownfield was nice enough a couple of years ago when we hosted the My Brother's Keeper Summit. Upton Hall is costly, and this was for all of our children and some that came from other areas of a summit that was hosted, and it was nice. It was so nice and educational on so many different levels.
Yeah.
And we got the chance to advertise, and we've been talking about educating our community about their own brownfield and what it does and how they can benefit from it.
Yeah.
These are some of the things that can happen to help to educate those in the community, because we don't seem to be getting it anywhere else.
Based upon that, I think, and I'm going to throw this out to you, we're not going to be able to continue to support, but I was thinking all the people that get the awards could come together and make alumni, and all through the years to go out and try to raise money to help support, to offset what you need, because you got a lot of people that's alumni, could be alumni group, have meetings, raise money to support this so that we can kind of like be self-supported. I go to other communities. The city don't do it. People like them, they give their time and their energy and their ideas to make a difference. We want the city to do everything. The city don't have the money. The city can't do it. The city cannot do it. But if people like them giving their time and their talent, and then we got to say, what you doing, how you doing, you know what kind of money they putting in, the kind of time they putting in, and they spend it to make this happen for the people in the city of Benton Harbor to make a difference. So we need to try to support it the best we can, but you ought to think about trying to eventually find an avenue where you can support yourself eventually. Anybody else got
Ms.
anything? you
Hull,
want-
just
Oh,
very
who else got
quickly,
something
if
you
I
wanna
may,
say?
if
You
I
just
may.
got through.
No, if I just may. You said something that was very important.
What?
But if we would look at the money that we used to spend when all 9 of us used to go on a trip.
Training.
We can utilize that funding that hasn't been spent in years to put towards something that,
Well, it's got to be line item, though.
exactly.
Okay, anybody else got, back up, look, we didn't spend off your question. Now, did you get your question
She
answered?
started it.
Yes.
Started, go ahead.
Yes, I did start it. But what I'm sitting and seeing, that we want to see where when we put into any idea that's come to us, that it works for us.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
best benefit.
That's so beautiful.
There's other projects that has come and we go in like today and we see that it's working.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. The three
Yes,
of
sir.
us went to see the houses that is being put up for Miss King is putting up. And we can actually see our return. It's already there, and I mean it surpasses a lot of things that I've seen.
It took a while.
It-
Conversations take place at places like this.
Yes.
It took a while.
Networking.
But what I'm seeing, I just want to make sure that we see something that we're putting our investment into. We're investing into that. We want to see something happening.
Okay, thank you.
Networking.
Now, okay.
I'm in touch with some of them folks.
Mr. Bennett, got anything you want to say?
Well, I just want to say that, yeah, I agree, we should be able to see what, the return on our investment is. I think what they're doing is admirable.
Yes.
But once again, it's about what are we getting in return?
Yes.
That we can see tangible results. I don't know what was contributed by the Brownfield Authority Board to their function last year, but, okay. 10,000, if that's what it was. I mean, I would like to see tangible proof of where those funds went and
Yeah.
what we got for it.
Yeah, it takes time, but you will see it. Okay, Mr., you want to say something? Oh, he already know. Okay.
If I may too. So, one of the things, while we do appreciate and we did come to implore you for sponsorship and for financial support, there are also other opportunities as well for board members to serve on our planning committee, for board members to actually host a session or be present and be part of a roundtable or a fireside chat or a panel discussion. Oftentimes, I think it was mentioned here, I think Mayor Hull, you said something about we don't know. We're information poor in this community. Look at the audience that you have in this meeting today. Who's here? People who have a vested interest in Brownfield, right? But if you go up to John Q. Public and ask John Q. Public, what is the Brownfield Authority? What does the Brownfield Authority do in a community? How many people do you think would answer that they knew? And how many people would say, oh, yes, I've been to one of those meetings, or I'm familiar with ... Well, why are we not familiar? One of the things that I do believe wholeheartedly about this summit is that it brings a lot of issues and resources to the forefront for John and Jane Q. Public that they may not have been privy to prior to coming to the summit. And one of the things that we really drive is the education piece and the participation in the summit. We promote our gala, which is a wonderful, great time. And people come from all over, but it's a celebratory event, right? It's a party. A party doesn't need much promotion. You get your meat and potatoes and your information and whatnot, what have you, at this actual summit and education. And if you don't attend or if you haven't been, I would implore you personally to just come and to check it out for yourself. But even more so, why not be a presenter? Why not have a session about Brownfield, about Benton Harbor, and things of that nature, so that there is more information promoted, and you can see a visual and visible, tangible return on your investment? Because if you don't come, you won't see. And we all know, obviously, that, you know, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. You don't get from mile 1 to mile 1,000 in 2.2 seconds or even in 1 or 2 years. This is a build upon and a process as with anything else. So I would, once again, like to implore this body, consider and think about what you are able to do. We would love you to have a presence and a much stronger presence if the whole body was to come and facilitate a group-wide session, because these are people, 300, 400 people in one room from across the state, lawmakers, policymakers, and lay people and the like. There was something else, but I'm sorry.
That's okay,
I
but
lost my train of thought.
nothing like this has never happened in Ben Harbor. But let me say this. We say something tangible. Do you realize the information that I got when I went to this summit, the days that I attended and the different sessions that I attended? I be in these meetings on Zoom with people across the country in Michigan that was there. We're sharing out resources and stuff, knowing when grants and stuff come about. We are capacity building. This Justice 40 thing has not died. Trump stopped some funding, but there's some funding coming through, and we're applying for it. Myself and other organizations around the state. When we don't apply ourselves and in the networking process, and I guess it's just people that want to truly just get some things done, which it happens to be me. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
I've attended the summit the last 2 or 3 years, however long it's been, and I've enjoyed it. It's very informational. It's great. But it's essentially preaching to the choir. Because those people who are there, you know, we got all these leaders from across the state, and that's great, and they're bringing their people, but most of us who are there are already educated on what's going on and what's happening. So when I'm thinking about return, I'm saying, okay, that's a 2-day event, true. And it's a lot of capacity building because people are going back to their communities and maybe employing stuff that they learned there at the Brownfield. But what are we doing in the rest of the year that's supporting our community? And I know last year, part of the support went to advertising the city. And that's a great thing. But I have to agree with Mr. Little on that.
the what?
About spending that money attracting business. That's a master plan thing. That's our responsibility as Brownfield to promote Brownfield or to promote whatever we're trying to accomplish in Brownfields.
Now, since you said that now, you sitting on this board, you have to have advertising to promote.
I agree.
Now, the only place that I know of, talking to you, Teresa, is the only time we've advertised has been with them, whatever stuff we've done.
Other than the books and the ink pen.
Well, we did that years ago. We have not. Okay, I'm talking. Yeah, okay, that's all right. That's okay. But you know, it never ceases to amaze me.
By my people.
When we don't have much to give. We don't have much at all. We here trying to help the city, trying to help the city to rebuild. But also, we can see where we can use your tool that you have worked so hard with to promote our tool. We can use that to promote what she just talked about. Now, let me say this. All them lands, and I'm going to go deep on this, commissioners.
Okay.
All the land that Mr. Little that we helped clean up, it's getting ready to be marketed. Somebody's going to buy it. Are the people from Benton Harbor going to buy it? You hope so. How they know? How they know about it? How they know what's going to happen? How they know they can get brownfield credits? How do they know? But somebody else comes in here, they going to buy it. And they know what they can get because they up to date on it. So instead of us, any place we can put our thing, if we want to help our people in our community so they can do some of this stuff that they are doing, rather than trying to come to the city to ask the city for everything, because the city don't have. Didn't he just say they broke it in 2 shoes? So they have to work out there to make a difference in the community, see if this community continue to thrive. You go to other communities, it ain't no city hall doing all that stuff. It's the people in their community doing it. But every time somebody come here, they get the 3rd degree. You bring me this, bring me that, take this, go there. But now I done told them up front. I done told everybody up front. And that's why Teresa's here, and I done told her 15 times. I'm not going to no jail trying to help you and nobody else. I ain't putting on no orange suits to trying to help none of y'all to go to jail. Now, if we can do it, and it's legal, and we ain't gonna break the till, we're gonna try to help you. Anybody come here. Now, like I said, we may not be able to do it too long. Now, we kind of getting broke ourselves. But we gave him 170. 170 to help him. And them houses going to go back on the tax roll.
So, yes, can I chime in to respond to your comment, Commissioner Gill? So I agree with you. And one thing that we've done, and we did a SWOT analysis last year, is how do we get the meat and potatoes? So last year we did 20 scholarships of our local individuals, people, your everyday people. We gave them the scholarships, told them to come, getting them there. So it's like you want to get on a bus, dollar ride bus, and get them there. So we have given scholarships to get. Well, she's with work, she knows. But sorry, we partnered with the youth summit that we're doing. We partner with the A for Asthma, Best with Andrews University, Lake Michigan College. This year we're even going to Kalamazoo to get other people, different people, to bring people. Ypsilanti, it's Ypsilanti, right? They're bringing a busload down. So we're trying to get the regular people to the meat, and Commissioner Henry's thing, meat and potatoes. It's making people take, I'm on live, never mind. But it's making people take the initiative to come. Because we can feed a horse to water.
Okay, absolutely. And we face the same thing in the industry I work in, workforce development. But again, it's trying to, all this information that she's talking about, and in advertising, how are we getting it to those grassroots people that need the information and can use it, So when you're advertising on billboards about, hey, come to Benton Harbor and do these brownfields, well, that's not to who we're trying to address.
Satana going to tell you how you do it. Go ahead, Satana.
I had a comment. I had my hand up for a while. I just want to make sure, because I feel like this is kind of going off on a tangent. We know the Black Summit is amazing. I don't think we need to say that anymore. We're clear. The issue at hand is more so the advertising that we would do. So we heard a couple of comments, and one of the things that was in that initial email from Trenton, he had broken down some ideas for advertisement. I know time is of the essence, and a lot of these are too late. But for people who didn't have a chance to look at it, or if you're new to the board, I just want to read it. He said billboards, which is too late, website development, graphics and printing, newspapers, and just the same thing we did last year. We had a table there. So those was just some of the things that he talked about in the advertisement. One of the things that I guess I would need to know is, so we have a lot of things on this document. Is this all kind of like old news? I mean, like we had tickets last year. Do we have any final information on that? Because I know that this document was out there, but we can't give this amount of money. So is there anything written up to give us all the details? Does my question make sense?
So
like if we're made a certain contribution, this is what you get. You get a table.
The VIP,
I mean, yes.
The table, the vending booth, the VIP, the front and back page of our Yes. And whatever you guys demand, or not demand, but yeah, that we,
Yeah.
deliver in 30 days.
So is this an opportunity? And this is for the new members and those that have never heard it, because see, this isn't anything new. Back in 2008, 7 or 8, I think it was, I brought forth the motion to put together a scholarship for some of our children getting ready to graduate to go off into the environmental field of Brownfield. Nobody knew that, did they? Okay, see, so this isn't something new, but it's something that needs to be reawakened. And at an event like this would be a perfect opportunity to award one or two of our children that are getting ready to graduate that wants to go off into the environmental field. It is, we had the document, Mark, had fixed it, yeah.
Trying to give them some money and then find a way to take it back. Go ahead.
Well, I guess I just, a little bit of a point of order. I think we may have been wise to have put this as an actual agenda item. I know we're trying to streamline things, but we are still in public comment. So
Okay, so
we can either just receive this comment, or if you want to make a motion, I think we should try to get back on track.
I make a motion to support the Benton Harbor, Michigan Black Summit 2026 in the amount of, of 20,000.
Need a second? Motion.
I mean, can we accept the motion and discuss it?
No, there's no second,
So I make the motion, the same motion with the lower amount of 15.
Need a second? Need a second? We don't have a second from none of the board members for 15,000?
To support the Black Summit?
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
I just want to know, what is the budget that we have to work with to begin with? I guess is it? We're asking for funding. I'd hate to commit to 20,000 and we only got 21,000.
So we did approve a proposed budget, which you can always amend budget. And one of the things that I believe Member Warren was trying to get to the point is we need to make sure this is an eligible cost. So as a marketing expense, if it's an actual cost to market the Brownfield Authority and what you do here, that could be eligible. If it's just to support this great event, that, you need to make sure it's an eligible activity. So within your marketing budget, you have a budget of $10,000.
Lack of support. Next, go ahead and redo it. 10, she
I make
said.
a motion to support the Black Michigan Summit for 15,000.
That died. That
Yeah,
died.
that one died on the table.
Would anybody else want to make a motion?
Well, do it for
I make a
10.
motion to
Do it for
support
10.
the Benton Harbor. Oh. I make a motion to support the Benton Harbor, Michigan 2026 Black Summit in the amount of $10,000.
Need a second. Need a second.
I second that motion.
Okay, got a second. Are there any discussions, concerns?
Yes, discussion.
Okay. Discussion?
Discussion. So according to what Trenton said when he answered my question, I guess we would have to write up what we want, like the table we had or whatever, because none of that's written right now. Nothing is written. So, Teresa.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Does anyone understand what I'm saying? Like it's no parameters. It's nothing. No parameters out. So it's just.
Or can we go with what we did
Well, okay, so I need to redo the motion. I make a motion that the City of Benton Harbor's Brownfield Authority Board will support the Benton Harbor, Michigan 2026 Black Summit to be held at the Upton Hall, February 7th and 8th, 6th, 7th? 6th and 7th, in the amount of 10,000, which will include a table for all Brownfield Authority Board members that choose to attend, as well as the marketing material and a table for the marketing material to advertise the City of Benton Harbor's Brownfield Authority Board and what it does.
Second.
I second the motion.
Then second, are there any questions, concerns, Teresa?
Are you asking that they provide the marketing materials on this
No,
board?
I
I'm not quite clear.
recommend that this board uses the same material that it provided and was purchased last year
Okay.
for the advertisement with the table that will be provided.
So there's a table that you guys will be manning, different members of the board. You're going to use the same materials, and you also were requesting attendance for any board members that wish to attend. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am. And if I have to, we'll man the table.
And can I get one more? And one just other thing, I know money is of the essence, but I think it would be good to have literature talking about individual residents. Like if someone came and they had one home, that they wouldn't really be an ideal candidate because we're looking for multiple properties. When we, the plan doesn't work. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you come in and you're trying to develop one house, it's not going to be a tax incremental plan. So I'm saying, since you guys were talking about educating the people, I'm saying we need to be clear to the people that if they're coming, they're getting excited about Brownfield and they have one home, the plan is likely not going to be beneficial. So that might be smart to have that literature on the table if it's just individual residents coming to pick up information so they at least can read, when it's beneficial. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Will it be beneficial for one homeowner?
Yes.
We've done the math, and there has not been sufficient tax increment. It's technically eligible by statute to have
By
only one
statute.
housing unit.
By
But to have a
statute.
brownfield plan in place, you do need tax increment created. So typically, there is not sufficient tax increment for redeveloping one home.
But if according to the 381 Act, it says it is permissible for one home,
It's
I'm
permit,
going to say it's not.
well, it's permissible, but if you don't, as a function of the math, if you don't have tax increment, then you have nothing to reimburse.
This is why
I
the.
want to say something that's directly in contradictory to the act.
381.
We just want to be clear and honest. And if we, like when Ms. King came, do you guys remember, she had multiple properties and it didn't work. So I'm just asking, I just don't want people to come and be very disappointed if they get here and it's not a benefit. That's my only concern.
I understand what you're saying, but still, we can't say or should not say anything that's directly contradictory to the act.
To the act, yeah.
I'm not asking for us to say anything contradictory. I'm just saying, do we want to give accurate information to the residents? That's all I'm asking. If we don't want them to know that it's not beneficial, that's what you're saying. But I'm saying that's a whole process, getting Teresa involved, and we've done the math, and most of the time it's not beneficial.
And that's the key. Most of the time, we don't know when it would be, or if it would be.
Just a moment, just a moment, just a moment, just a moment, just with the act.
With 381.
Yeah, just stay with the act. That's all you can do is stay with the act. Okay, Teresa has her hand up.
I would say that it is wise to give people an idea of the types of projects this board could support, so that they're not coming disappointed, that they're not wasting your resources evaluating things that won't work.
Okay.
So I will say that Fishbeck can prepare a one-page sheet that kind of explains the types of things that the Brownfield Authority supports that you could use at this event.
Okay, can we do this, Madam Chair? Because we've talked about it, and it's been over a year now, and it hasn't happened, and I don't know why, but the books that we put together are old with the developments that we've done, and something needs to be updated. I don't know whose responsibility that is or what that would look like, but just some pamphlets of some of the most latest.
Yeah. Mr. Little checked for them, didn't you? But you couldn't find them?
Didn't I give you a book? I gave you a book, an old book. I had a couple
Okay,
of books.
we'll take that up later. We'll take that up
I
later.
still have one.
All right, we got a motion on the floor. Roll call.
Warren,
Yes.
Yates,
Yakes?
You Yates.
You can decline.
You can abstain if you don't understand it.
Abstain.
Adams,
Yes.
Chandler,
Yes.
Kennard,
Yes.
Tony, Bennett.
Yes.
Motion passes 6 to 1 abstention and no, 0 no's.
What about me?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Chair Hall.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 7 to 1 abstention and 0 no's.
Okay, thank you.
About the document that she says Fishbeck can provide, how soon can we have that for review? Because they'll need it, this is happening, what, February 6th?
Put it on the table. For us. That'll be for us. Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you. Is any more public comments? That's what we're on, right?
Yes.
Public comments? Hearing none, this portion is closed for public comments. Committee reports?
We do not have any committee reports.
Thank you. Treasury reports?
Okay, since this board has not met in several months, you have several months here. They're all in your packet. I don't feel like we need to go through them in detail. However, if there's any questions, I can answer those. I will just point out on this September one that it does include your summer tax receivables of $264,979.50. It was booked in September, that's when it was, but I actually just received the check tonight, so I need to deposit that in the bank. Then I think we should move down to December, because that's your most recent financial statement. So you have a balance in your checking account of $540,952.30. And in the money market account, let me see. 197,478.79. So you have your total liabilities and equity is a little over $1 million. If you go to the next page, that statement of income and expense, you'll see that for the month of December, you earned 254, a little over dollars of interest. So year to date, that's a little over 1,600. Most of your income was from that property tax revenue. And your net income, we did have negative 5,000 for December, but year to date, that's 204,801.47.
Now, you mentioned a different amount for the money market than is listed here. Here, the money market for December says 220, and you said 197. Not sure why that's.
Oh, because, sorry, I was just doing the one line item. The 220 also includes 22,523.97. I don't know why it's separated. I could ask the finance director about it. That's the way it was set up some time ago, where that's captured separately, but those are both in that account. So I think we could entertain one motion for all 4 months unless there's any questions or concerns with doing it that way.
Support.
Okay, we had a motion from Adams and support from Warren.
I'd like to ask a question. I see that here for Plant Moran, is this for the shutdown time also that we still pay in? And that's came to $2,300.
Oh, are you on the payables listing? So right now, we were just talking about the financial statements. But yes, so she does prepare the financial statements whether we're meeting or not. So that's why you see all 4 months in your packet, even though some of those months we didn't meet.
Even when it came to fishback, which is $5,280, although we didn't meet,
So
it still comes out.
respectfully, if we could hold that until we get to the payables listing, because I think those questions are on those payouts. So right now, this is just for the financial statements for September, October, November, and December. And we have a motion on the table from Adams with support from Warren. If we have any further discussion on the statements.
Questions, concerns? Hearing none. Roll call.
Warren,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Chandler, Kennard,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hull.
Yes.
Okay, financial statements are approved. So now moving on to our payables listing. Okay, so the first invoice on there is for preparation of the August financial statements. That was the standard $550 for last year. As you'll recall, in October, you approved an updated agreement with Plant Moran that upset to $575. This second invoice covers September, October, November, and December. So those are 4 months at $575 is the $2,300. So whether you meet or not, she's still preparing those financial statements. That's what that covers. Fishbeck's invoice, this covers all of September, October, November, and through December 26th. So yes, there was still, there was some back and forth with the credit union. They switched over platforms. There was quite a bit of work that Member Warren had to do with the finance director to get her all set up. So this is actually quite a bit lower if you consider this is 4 months of our expenses, and that's because we did not have as much of a response or need without the regular meetings, but this covers everything that we did do during that time.
Okay. Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Need a
Support.
second? Okay. You got it, Teresa? Any questions, concerns, discussions?
On this,
Mhm.
on this right here?
Mhm.
No, but I have another one.
What is it on?
Finance. And maybe Mr. Little can answer it.
Is it has something to do with what we just got here?
No, it has to do with some more money.
Oh, no, well, no. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Tony. You have a question? Okay. All right, hearing none, roll call.
Warren,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Chandler,
Yes.
Kennard,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hull.
Yes.
January payables listing are approved. So just in case anyone has to leave early, those checks that need signatures are up on the dais. If we do need 2 signatures. So that brings us to old business. So this is the Abba Marsh Brownfield Plan. We're not going to get into the details of the plan. This board already reviewed and approved that. The city commission already approved that. This is the reimbursement agreement, is typically done at the same time, but it was not formally approved. So this is your standard agreement that this board has always used. The only exception is there is, in addition, since this is a housing project, that says the developer will give you everything you need to complete your annual report with respect to the income monitoring for the housing. It's not standard practice for most of the boards I serve, but this board has typically had this document notarized, so we will need to do signatures on that at a different date. Also, this plan is moving into an Act 381 work plan that's getting submitted to MISHDA, and MISHDA does require that this agreement does have a certified filing with the city clerk's office, so those can be notarized at the same time for that filing and the agreement. But we would need formal action to approve the reimbursement agreement as presented in your packet.
Need a motion for that?
Yes.
Need a second?
Second?
I missed the second.
Nobody seconded. Need a second?
Support.
Are there any other discussions, questions, concerns? You have some? Well, go ahead, if you have some.
You know,
Push it.
Probably kind of moot at this point, but I just want it noted that, you know, we're moving forward with this 381, but in their plan, they indicated that this would be,
I need a second.
what is it called? Market rents. The market rates. But for the purpose of what they're using them for, they've reduced them to affordable or whatever that was. Just, it's no turning back on this now. Is that correct, Mr.
All
Little?
8 units are at affordable rates, and this is exactly, what's in the Act 381 plan has to be exactly consistent with what's in the Brownfield plan. There are no changes from what this board and the city commission has already approved.
Okay. So are you, Mr. Little, are you aware of what I'm referring to here? Yes, I am. Okay. So, yeah, I just want to.
And if I might add, I received notice yesterday from the state that they'll be submitting theirs, part they are reviewing, back to us shortly.
So I'll abstain at this time.
Any other concerns? Roll call.
Warren,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Chandler,
Abstain.
Kennard,
Abstain.
Tony,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 6 to 2 abstentions and 0 noes.
Okay. Next.
Back up here. Nope, here. Okay, so the US EPA grant application, this has been on the agenda several months in a row. This board has not taken any action to apply for fiscal year '26 round of funding. The only reason this is back on the agenda is because at that time, when there was no action to move forward, there was not a formal debriefing received from the EPA, which you have since received once the federal government came back in order. Member Warren was able to attend that debriefing, and we did find out that the application scored quite highly and narrowly missed enough points to receive award. So there has been a request from a couple board members to consider applying for this again. I will say applications are due January 28th. I think if we did move forward, we would try to keep as much of that the same, with the exception of changes in the new guidelines. There would need to be a little bit of involvement with checking in of priority sites and the stories we're telling about the sites we're going to use in there. Also, we didn't build it in the budget for that, but yeah, I guess I'll start there.
Commissioner Adams?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We're gonna be there all night.
I was just on a meeting about this grant with some other organizations, and I don't want anything to overlap. The mayor made it very clear when I pushed for us to apply for this grant that we should not be letting anything get by us, and anything that comes our way, we need to be applying in whatever capacity. And I'll say it again, we have help if we need help. We have advisors that will help with these grants. And I just met another one today, and my question to him was, can I utilize you as well as the other one that we've been afforded? And his answer was yes. So we definitely need to be applying for these monies, and if we need some help, Teresa, just let me know.
Okay.
But I think that this is a capacity building grant as well. If we're talking about the same grant, and we may not be.
This one is for assessment and cleanup planning only.
Okay. But we need to be applying.
Did you have something to say, Santina? No. Okay.
When we applied for this grant last year, it was with the understanding that if we did not obtain the grant, that we'd at least have enough information to move forward the next year. So I would say, yes, definitely, let's move forward with this. And for that information that was missing, Mr. Little, is that something, first of all, do you see the need for this cleanup grant?
I'm sorry, point of clarification, no cleanup is allowed under this grant. It's only assessment and cleanup planning, but no
Planning.
actual cleanup. So I just want to
Okay.
be clear on what the grant could be used for.
So there is a need here.
Yes, we discussed that, and I think there is a need. Our situation is, it's iffy because since the last time we applied, we got a different administration in Washington. You don't know what they're going to do, but if you don't try, you know you won't get it. And I'm certainly willing to work with Teresa and try to do all we can to get money and see what happens.
Okay, that being said, may I ask the question as to if in fact we can utilize some of our youth, our older high school students with something within this within this grant?
There's no job training.
No.
That's part of, that's a separate grant.
Yeah.
But
No.
educational,
Okay.
whatever we can
All
do.
right, any other
let us-
questions? Any other questions?
Let
Yes.
us always,
All right, he's got the floor.
And this is just for clarification, do we have on staff?
Did you push?
I'm pushing.
Okay.
Do we have a professional grant writer? Within the city anywhere?
No, we don't.
So when there are grants that we are interested in, the process is to go through Teresa? You're the grant writer, I guess de facto?
So I work for Fishbeck, so we have a team on our Brownfield department. There's about 8 of us. So last year, these grants are highly competitive. Fishbeck wrote and was successful in helping our clients secure 5 out of the 6, I think it was, somewhere like there, of successful grants in Michigan. So we do have a lot of experience in preparing these types of grants. But yes, we are a separate contracted firm that would prepare them on your behalf if contracted to do so. That's how we did it last year,
For how much?
for 5,000. We spent quite a bit more than that. We donated the other funds. So I think if we did it this year, we could do the same amount, realizing there's some efficiencies there.
So just for clarity, you said 5,000, that's 5,000 per grant? Is that 5,000 contingent upon how much the grant is for? Is that a scale thing, or is that a flat rate regardless of how much the grant is for?
Great question. That is a flat rate that what you would pay Fishbeck to prepare the application. If you are successful in getting the application, I believe it is $4,000 over 4 years. Did I say 4,000? 400,000.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say,
Excuse
you
me.
crazy.
$400,000 over 4 years that you could use to complete assessment activities within the city. If you are successful, just because we wrote that grant does not necessarily mean that Fishbeck would do the work. There is a separate bidding process this board would have to do to choose an environmental consultant. But once you have an environmental consultant in place, which could be a separate firm than your general brownfield consultant, they go through a quality assurance process, and then you can only use that consultant for those grant funds, if that clarifies.
Process.
Anything else?
No, that's good.
If I might, just for further explanation, because everybody may not have the same level of understanding about those. A perfect example of an assessment was what was done on the Wells Street portion of the Project T property, where it was determined that there was some kind of oil-based liquid flowing down the side of Agard onto that property, and that it would have to be abated in order to develop the property. Sufficient work was done to do the assessment to determine that the problem was there. But to date, we've not been able to do anything really to abate it yet.
Yeah, that would
But that's sort of part of the process,
Right.
is that we look at different areas that we plan to do development on that are the city's priority areas for development. And then we initiate a contract with a qualified firm to do an assessment of those to determine if there's a problem at all, and if so, what the nature of it is and what it might require.
Okay.
The only other thing I wanted to mention, because I know the question has come up in the past, why the application was through the city itself and not the Brownfield Authority. You do need to have a unique entity identifier number set up, which is through the city. This board does not have that on their own. So
Right.
if we applied again, it would be technically through the city.
Perfect.
But I think the idea is that administration would be through this
Right,
board.
we understand. My thought process on this was, we gave Fishpack 5,000 last year. Now, she brings this again, and it's January the 28th, the window closed, right? You see what it is now? It's January the 8th. Now, we got to give another 5,000. I don't know how sure. I suggested wait, and she would work on this for next year. You don't want to do it, but if you want to do it again,
and
is
here's
an
just a moment.
option.
Just a moment. I'm talking. If the window closes, and I don't know how they Fishback can get it together to be sure that we might get it. She said she was right close last year, but I don't know. But that's another 5,000. So if the board wants her to put it in, fine. I'm only one, but that's what I'm thinking. And it's a competitive grant. Will they have it again next year? But if we get it, fine. But if we don't, we got to go back to the drawing board. She only got 20 days,
But we less than that.
and you didn't get it.
Less than that, but
And you
we
didn't
have
get it.
information now. We have information now and a better roadmap of this next application of the grant. And not only that, we'd have 400,000 over the course of a couple of years to do some abatement that we normally
Okay.
would have to come out of
Put
pocket.
a motion on the floor. You
to
want her
do.
to go forward with the grant. Need a motion.
Motion to approve.
No,
To
need a
apply
motion to
for.
apply. Okay, need a second?
Wait, can we be a little bit more specific with
Yes.
the motion? $400,000.
Can I ask a question? When did we first become aware of this grant? as a possibility of
Year before last.
Year before last?
okay.
Nobody was listening.
Okay, and even up to this point now, with 3 weeks to go, it was never brought up to apply sooner than right
It
now?
was. It was.
But it was not,
Right.
it was shot down?
But given all honesty, the situation was we didn't get feedback on our application last year until, when was that, last December? It was in December. And then we had Christmas break. We didn't meet. So it wasn't like, oh, everyone just slept on it. I mean, being honest, that's what happened. We just got feedback, and I was the only one on the call, and I had 9 minutes to try to get all the feedback. And I did my best to give it to the team, but it was given to everyone in December.
That's not what he was saying. I approached this board with this in email to let them know that this money was coming available for this board to apply for, which I do all the time because that's what I do. And we chose not to. But when we did, there was a time limit and it was
Absolutely.
tight. But we did apply. And now we have a better roadmap and another opportunity to apply again. And I think that that's what we need to do, and we need to make a motion.
Okay. He still got the floor. You still have the floor.
No, that answers my question.
Okay,
I just
thank you
wanted to
so
know
much.
how long
Anybody else?
of a time window we had.
Okay. Santana?
For Teresa, do you feel that your team has adequate time to,
And that's the key right there.
I know you had a short amount of window last time, but Ms. Hull had a great point. We got rejected. So with the same window, in your honest opinion, do you think that your team has enough time to adequately apply for
I
the
would
grant?
prefer more time. That's why we've talked about this for so many months in advance. But, I mean, we'll make it work.
She said she.
I said I would prefer more time. That's why we talked about this so many months in advance, and we weren't preparing because there was not an appetite to move forward at that time because we did not have that feedback. It's unfortunate that we did not get that feedback from EPA until so late in the game. And so now it changes. Will we do our best to pull together the changes that we need to and make it happen? Yes. Ideally, would it be better if we had more time? Also, yes.
Y'all want to give Fitchback another 5,000?
I will say, well, I guess we'll vote on that.
Yes. She wants to ask another
No.
question.
Okay, you have the floor.
Fishback 5,000 for 400 and something thousand.
If we get the grant.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Whether we get it or not, they time has to be paid for.
Because it can be shot down.
It's a, yeah.
Yes, it's a highly competitive grant.
Very highly.
And then there is an option to wait and apply next year. We do expect they will be even more competitive next year.
Yes.
But if we would like to do that, my suggestion would be we start planning in the summer.
Right.
And really gather the data we want on
Absolutely.
Are
sites.
you all up to it right now to beat this deadline?
I will make it happen.
There you go. That's what I need to hear. He had his hand up.
Okay.
Is this grant something that is available every year, the 400,000? It's something you can
Actually, there's a
apply for every year? This specific grant in general for the assessment?
Typically, it has been. I mean, there's never any guarantees, but typically it has been. But they're becoming more and more competitive to be able to be awarded them.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I'm going to just say this. I think $5,000 is not chump change, but if you stand to get 400,000,
Thank you.
we were just willing to give 10,000 to the individuals that were here a little while ago.
Yeah,
And I think 5,000 is not
yeah.
a significant amount to get the 400,000, provided they can do it and present a good packet on our behalf. That's all I have.
The return is greater.
Potential return
Let us
is,
pray. And hold on to faith.
let you be quiet for a minute. Everybody's had their say, so it's time to vote.
Well, we technically don't have a motion on the table yet.
No, but what it's going to be
I
time.
make a motion.
Just a moment. The last year, We did give 5,000. We get nothing if we don't win it. This year we get 5,000, we don't get nothing. But if we get it, oh, it's great return, okay? But when we gave the 10, we're going to get some return eventually here. We'll go for it. The board has the right. I'm only one person. So, you said we just gave the sum of 10,000.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna leave them out
Now,
of
we're going to
this.
leave that alone.
They're gone.
Now, so.
But we're gonna make a motion.
Wait a minute, you're going to make a motion for her to go through it now? Okay.
We're gonna make a motion that our consultant's Fishbeck applies or actually reapply for the EPA grant for, is that assessment? That's due January 28th, 2026.
Need a second?
I second the motion.
Been motion and second. Are there any discussions, concerns? Any
Just
other?
have one quick
Okay.
comment on my comments, Teresa. Will you work with Mr. Little on the one where they were saying they needed clear? I'll email you. It was just one of the comments I had wrote, and it was about a position that was in there, and they needed to know clearly what that position. It was one of the comments. I'll message you.
Yes.
Because I think you have to work with
I will need to
Mr.
work
Little.
closely with Mr. Little here pretty quickly to
Okay.
get the information that we need to include in there. Does your motion include the budget of $5,000 to prepare the
Oh, I'm
grant
sorry,
application?
and that budget will include paying Fishbeck the 5,000 to complete the application. And with the understanding that whether we receive the grant or not, that Fishbeck shall be paid.
Right. Okay. Are there any other concerns? We get a second?
Yes.
Okay. Any other concerns, questions? Hearing none? Roll call?
Warren,
Yes.
Yates,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Chandler. Yes. Kennard. Yes. Tony,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Hull.
No.
Okay, motion carries 7 to 1 no.
Okay. Kings Court.
So last month, there was a motion approved to extend a $25,000 loan to be repaid in 5 years with annual payments of $5,000 plus applicable interest due 1 year from the date of execution of the agreement and each applicable year thereafter with a 1.5% simple interest calculated once annually on the remaining principal balance. I'm just letting you know the terms of what was voted on last month. And then we had talked about having a bond as that mechanism to protect the authority and your interests for the loan. So just wanted to provide an update. I have been in communication with Ms. King, and she's here, so she can provide an update as well, looking into the options for the bond. So I'll turn it over to Ms. King.
So hello, I have
Hello.
been trying to seek out a bond, and I have here with me an email, and I can, I have an email with me. I have not had any luck with seeking out the bond in which Teresa recommended to you guys that I obtain, and one of the reasons that I'm guessing from what the insurance company says, is, they said, as we discussed, I contacted my bond company regarding, I'm sorry, that's okay. Okay, so yeah, I was told that there isn't a bond company that will provide a financial guarantee for an individual to pay back their loan. So from insurance company is the request that has been asked of me cannot happen with these insurance companies.
Okay, yes.
Teresa, where was she supposed to get this bond that she was required to have?
So bonds are typically held through a surety who's licensed in Michigan to issue a bond. And so we had talked about doing a property lien or a security bond. And we voted in favor of doing a security bond. When Ms. King is trying to research this, they're calling it this financial guarantee bond. I'm more familiar with construction performance bonds and payment bonds, so this is a little bit different situation. So it sounds like we would need to look into further in communicating with other sureties whether this is something that's feasible. And then the second step is, if it is feasible, is it something that Ms. King wants to enter into? So at this point, we do not have a contract agreement written up because we're still working through this piece.
What I'm getting at is who provides these bonds?
A surety.
And
Y'all can hear me? Can you hear me? YouTube needs to.
so in the past, we have the person obtain these on their own or through their own people, or did we
You've
refer
never
her
done
to a
this. You've
surety?
never done this before.
We've never
now?
done this. So, have you ever done it?
I haven't done a bond in this mechanism,
Why
no.
now?
Have you done it? Does Fishbeck do bonds?
No, it has to be a surety licensed to issue bonds is a company that would do that. I can try to do some research and communicating with sureties to see what's possible. I have other projects that I work with bonds. Typically, those are construction projects. So you might have a performance bond if a contractor didn't complete the job, that would cover the expenses, or payment bonds if they didn't pay their subcontractors. So more of my experience is with those. So we would have to reach out to the experts that deal with the bonds to get a little bit more information, or consider another form. We had talked about the property lien, there wasn't much appetite for that, but, so that's what we're trying to work through, is that mechanism of protection for this board if there was default on the loan.
Okay, right.
Oh, she still has a floor. You
That's
still-
great, but as our representative, if we as a board approve moving forward with something, and I could be wrong, I'm relatively new too, isn't it your responsibility to guide them to where they're supposed to get what we're saying they're gonna have to have?
Right.
Yes, I indicated that she should reach out to a surety, those experts that deal with bonds. So it sounds like her insurance company also does bonds, so I don't know if it's just because that's an insurance company that they don't do that, or if any surety feels that way. I
Could you-
don't have that information.
They don't do what the request, the request that has been made of me, they don't do that.
Your
So
insurance company or a surety?
the type of bond that was asked for me to obtain, this financial guarantee, do not exist. It don't exist.
And
And so I contacted that, I communicated that with Teresa. And so I've called several different companies trying to get
Okay.
this. So really the ask that was asked of me was not something that could happen. And so I'm coming before you guys. I wrote a letter to ask for a different reconsideration because that cannot happen.
Okay.
Do we have that letter?
No, I have not received.
Do we have the letter? Just a moment. Do we have the letter? No. Okay. Ms. Bernard.
Could maybe help
Yes,
you with that.
Teresa, I'd like to ask, what, have you asked this type of bond from any other?
No, we've never done
Never
this
done this
type of loan before. So we evaluated what to do. The board did not want to give any more grants because you've already supported 150,000 in a grant. Typically, if there was a brownfield plan in place, you could get reimbursed if there was a default through the tax increment, but there's not a brownfield plan, so we were trying to get creative. If you still wanted to, continue to support the same project, of what mechanisms you could use. So this is kind of starting from scratch, trying to be creative, figure out something that would work.
Explain
What
why.
is it?
Explain, just a moment. Explain why. Why we asked for a bond.
May I?
Just a moment. Go ahead.
So if this board is lending 25,000, the expectation is that you would get that 25,000 back,
Why?
because it's a loan and not a grant.
And because of, we need a way to recoup our money so we can lend other people.
Right, and support other projects. And so my interest as your consultant is to protect this board. So I'm trying to come up with ways that you have some protections in place, just in case there was a default on the loan.
Right.
That
Okay.
is a wise way to do business, to
That's
have
right.
default mechanisms in place.
Did we come
Just,
up?
you wait till you call for, anybody else have their hands up? Well, you still have the floor. No, you finished? But that was on a question.
I have my hand up.
Okay, go back, okay.
I'd like to.
No, no. Mr. Little had his hand up before you had your hand up.
And typically, an SBA guarantee, typically an 80%, 80/20, is a form of a surety. Normally, a lender is going to ask for that when they consider the collateral to be either weak or too spread out. But essentially, what they're doing, insurance companies or strong banks will issue a surety bond. If they do it, they're basically saying, if this is not paid back, we'll pay it. And they will not do that unless there's a strong enough balance sheet showing assets that are easily disposable to collect that money. And that's basically what it amounts to.
You're certain? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chairman Hall. I think that Mr. Tony can probably attest to some of this, of my knowledge. I think it has a lot to do with the small amount, because I'm sure that you have enough equity somewhere to cover the amount. But to take out a bond on such a small amount, I don't see any institution probably doing that. So I don't know how long of a period of time we gave them to pay.
5 years. 5 years.
Okay.
It will start in 1 year.
Okay, so right. Okay, so it's coming back to my remembrance. If in fact we can do something else, because if they're at a halt again, and things are still being built and we're seeing it, wood must be down because we got a lot of it, but we want our own to continue the work that they've started, and I love it. I love what they're doing, and I
Okay, Teresa.
I don't have any answers, but I think that we
Okay,
need to
Teresa.
fix what we can.
I mean, so I guess we need to keep looking into different options.
So this is just like, so I'm writing to formally request that the authority move forward with our Brownfield project despite our inability to secure a surety bond. As previously shared, we've made good faith efforts to obtain financial guarantee or surety bond for this project. After consulting with our insurance broker and multiple bonding companies, we were informed that surety bonds guaranteeing repayment of a brownfield loan for an individual developer is not a product that is available in the current bonding market. Our work in the community reflects a consistent and demonstrated commitment to responsible redevelopment. We have successfully completed multiple rehabilitation projects within the city, reinvesting in the properties, helping to stabilize neighborhoods, and contributing to the local tax base. This project is a continuation of the work that aligns and is direct with the city's redevelopment and housing goal. It's not speculative in nature, and we remain fully committed to successful completion. I know that throughout this process, we have continued to try to bring board members alongside what has been happening with showing, not just coming into this space with saying what we're doing. We have invited you guys to look at the work today. I know that Ms. Chandler, Ms. Kennard, and also Ms. Mary has also seen the finish, just about 99.9% finish of one of the projects. So requiring a surety bond that not commercially available, that just continues to create a barrier that prevents community-based developers from utilizing some of the brownfield tools. We respectfully ask the authority to consider the totality of our track record, the protections already in place, and the broader purpose of the brownfield financing with this request. We are eager to move forward and continue partnering with the city and the Brownfield Authority to bring this project to completion. We respectfully request approval to proceed without the surety bond. And I don't want to just, well, I know we have new members, but again, my thing is being developers here, we have tried to continually bring the city, keep you guys abreast of what's happening. Born, raised, graduated from here, work in this community. I have sweat, blood, and tears here in this community. So to come before this board and ask for a support of a $25,000, and when we have multiple projects, to come here and say that we will not pay back a loan when we have shown you guys and understanding that some of the work that you have started with us have been new, right? There has not been a track record of other people that you have done this process with, and respecting that process has been part of the reason that we have been so open and so transparent. We came here showing just receipts of what we had already spent of our own. And again, not just coming in here providing lip service, actually having you guys to come to not just one of our developments, but multiple developments. Again, showing you what we're doing, having over 21 doors. And when you talk about attracting people to come to this community, we don't just redevelop properties. We work with our tenants with financial literacy, with credit building, and we have made you guys even aware of that. So for us, we don't look like the typical developers that have been in this community, because we're not. We haven't had the typical access to resources as other developers have had, as far as lending institutions, as far as access and resources, as minority developers. So if we don't get a break here, where will we get it from? And we're not just asking for you guys to just give us something, and we're not showing what's happening. We're doing that. And again, what we're providing, what you see in our properties, is not what you typically see. I shared this before. MC Rental, when they came out and looked at our properties to manage, they shared with us what they have seen. They haven't seen this quality of housing come up in this community from developers.
Right.
And so I'm
Ms.
sharing that
King.
and asking for,
Asking for what, 25?
yes,
Ms. King, if you should default, what would be in place that we could get our money?
so if we would default, then you could come after one of the properties, or some type of, I guess, a garnishment, or
So that would be a
So,
property lien, which is
or-
another thing that we did talk about you could use. as a mechanism of default.
But that was the question, and we talked about that before, of not, because it's other, not wanting to do the
Not
lien,
wanting to do that.
the lien on the property, and with the amount of a $25,000.
Well,
What are
that,
our other options?
yeah, she just said there's no other options. What
It's
are
a choice.
other-
Okay.
I'm not sure what other options
Yes.
there are. Potentially, we could think about it. Or there is the option that you're not extending further financing to support this
Yes.
project.
There's no other option.
So right now, either an surety bond or a lien are the only two options we have to ensure.
Or
our
I
investment.
suppose you could move forward with an agreement without any mechanism of protection against default. Once I put this in place, I will send it to your legal counsel for review. And that likely would cause a red flag for him, but I can't speak for him. So then I guess he would advise you on whatever we put in the agreement on what his recommendation is.
What would cause a red flag?
If there's no mechanism of protection in case there's a default.
So can I say this? Because I want those to hear that has not maybe, because when I first became a Brownfield Authority Board member, my community that looked like me was scared that they was running us up out of here. And they didn't understand. They killing us, they taking stuff. But to get them to see the vision of a $500 million development, a beautiful golf course, and then we're going to be collecting this money to where we can do something for ourselves up in the community. Here it is. After collecting those tax dollars, here it
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
Something up in the community
Yes.
for the less fortunate.
Okay.
And I mean, these properties are a thing that if I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
to move, I'd want to move in one because
Yeah.
it has luxury in the hood.
Yeah, but.
Did I just say
let-
that?
But let's stay on point here. Ms. King, I agree with everything they're saying, how you have worked, how you've lived here, and how you've done. But as an organization, we have to have protection for what we do. For other, not just for you, but for other people. I think this board has been extremely, extremely lenient to give you $150,000 to move your property forward. It's beautiful, a beautiful property. Now, I'm not going to say it against me or anybody else, but I have to say this. I went to the bank to get a loan, and I didn't know what I was doing at that time. And come find out, they come got my car. I said, why are you taking my car? They said, you signed that we got to get our money. You didn't pay. I didn't pay. So they put in a mechanism where they're going to get their money because they got to continue to give their money out to other people. And they weren't going to let nobody business about it. They don't care how much they like me, how much I'd been in this community for 70 years, how I'd built houses, how I'd bought houses. They come and got my car, said, you owe me and you didn't pay. I was so mad. But that's what happened. So they had to have, we need to have something, some collateral or something. As much as we like you, as much as we know, we don't know. You might get sick, you may not. Something might happen to the project. Something might happen. It might go. We have to have some means, and we're trying to. Normally, reason why we're having this problem because we've never done this before. We've never done this before. We're trying to help you, but we have to have. We only have 500,000. We gave you 150. Gave the city 170. We were real low. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And so, just to keep giving and not recouping, we don't have it. I'm just been straight up like it is. So if she can find a way where we can put something on where we can get our money back, or so we can help and rebuild our coffers so we can have our money, fine. That's what the board decided they wanted to do. So I don't know what they're gonna do now. Now, don't come with how beautiful everything, we know how beautiful it is.
No. I think that we need to hear from our asker. Is there anything that you can offer?
So at this point, my brother had to leave to go to work. So at this point, I'm going to try to work with Teresa and my brother to see if there's anything,
Out there.
But then again,
that's,
we had to pay Teresa and we'd be out of 25.
was she, oh.
Okay.
One of the things I'm trying to put reason with as I sit down and I listen to what is going on. Now, we had the Black Summit that came to us, and we secured them last year and this year, and we had nothing to really show exactly in our hands what's.
Marketing.
But then, for 25,000, which is just 15.
170, 150 plus 25.
Well, maybe we ought to just make
But I'm talking about what she's coming back to read.
Yeah, but it would be 107, 150, and 25 would be 175, so let's put it together.
Yeah, but when you put it together, that other money was spoken for. I did
Yeah.
show, so the
Right,
25
right.
is what's out
Let
there.
her, let Miss Emma have the floor. Go ahead.
Yes, I was trying to figure out if you got $10,000 that we gave to the Black Summit, and they haven't got anything but just to provide a table for us to advertise. Then this young lady is providing what the city needs is affordable housing, and she has followed through, and we have just went in to even see exactly what she's doing, and it is really above what I've seen even flipping. And so I'm just trying to put this together. Could there be ways that we could work around with this? Because 25,000 into an investment like this is not very much to ask of.
especially since it's not ours.
That's right. So, well, I just think that when we're homegrown, and that's the thing that we, especially as black people, we got to start investing in ourselves.
For real?
And when we start investing in ourselves, we can show growth. And that's the thing that we've done. We've invested since we've been brought into this country. We've invested into everything else and built this country and everything. And now we can't even lean a little bit of a shoulder to work with our own. This is just my thought and the way I feel. Thank you.
Ms. Hull, trust me, I hear what you're saying, and I hear what everybody is saying. And again, not to sound redundant, very appreciative of what has been given. I put a lot of my money into that, and again, to show what has been given. Like I said, you guys wanted to see receipts. I have provided receipts. I have provided canceled checks. I have provided all the documentation that has been asked for. So.
I have a solution.
No, you said so.
So-
Mr. Little?
I think this board needs to stop giving anything out until it develops a uniform policy that will apply to any person in the city that comes in here and asks for assistance. You need to decide as a policy what your position is going to be, what's going to be your minimum requirements in terms of, because this isn't a loan agency. This is a Brownfield Authority that has a tool that is available through state law, tax increment financing. And it does not allow for just general lending and pay support, or just doing whatever kind of social adventures we want to go off into. You have to deal with the issue All right, if we set a standard here, will we be able to apply that when anybody walks in the door who says the same thing?
Yeah. But I agree that some circumstances are different.
Yeah.
Just a moment, and I gotta go because I have a funeral. Yeah, policy should cover every circumstances. And we understand that we should have a unified thing so that everybody can. We took under consideration, this was the first. She's worked here, she's tried, she's put her effort into our community and built houses, a young, trying to get started. And we did try to support because you didn't qualify for the Brownfield credits, the way you put it in. And so you needed help. And we wanted to continue to help you spur that development. We really did. So, but we still need a way to get our money back. And I don't know how that's going to work, but like I said, I love you. I love everything you're doing. I love what's happening in the community. It's beautiful. But if we can't do it and you don't have a bond, I don't plan on putting on no orange suits. I done told y'all this. I done told y'all
You won't have to
this.
put one on that this city haven't put on no orange
Yeah,
suits in
but
all
I'm
these
just saying,
years, so
not just
it
for
won't
you,
start.
but I'm just saying, we gotta go by a policy and procedures so we can do, it ain't about you.
No, and I get it.
It's not about you. It's about what we have to do as a board.
And you
Yes.
guys are as a board.
Yes.
You guys have the full authority.
Yes.
As the board to
Yes.
make that decision. Now, I respect.
Well,
I respect.
but we cannot go
No,
against.
I respect what
Yeah,
you're saying.
but we cannot go against Act 381.
And
Okay.
Correct.
Now, that's why we have a person here to give us a recommendation as to what we need to do, because we'll go all haywire here against Act 381, then it'll come back on us. So we don't want that. We want to stay clear. We want to do all we can to help you. We try to do all we can to help you and anybody else that comes through here. But we got to have processes and procedures to do this. Okay. Miss Andrew, okay.
Yes, we do need policies and procedures. We need all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been requesting a board retreat or meeting or
You too.
something whereby we can, determine what it is that we need. But we have already approved this, and now we need to find a way to move forward.
I got away.
So,
Okay,
I got away.
all right.
I recommend, because we don't have anything in place. Wait a minute. The first funds that we released were part of the development. I think that this $25, this 25,000 needs to go towards community development. And after this, we need to be working on putting something in place. But we do not need to be holding these developers up any longer. Because I'm sure they're waiting on these funds to finish some of the things that they need to complete. I think that this right here needs to be it. And we have done our development, our first portion of development within the community, and put something in place to just move forward to have those safeguards, those rails.
Okay.
Okay, so it was put in place, and we did all vote,
Yeah.
on it.
Put your.
It was put in place, and we did all vote on her to get the money. But she came to a conclusion that she wouldn't be able to get the bond because it was going to be a loan. That means that the $100 and some thousand that she had already got, she didn't want to come back in and just say give her $25,000. She was willing to pay it back as a loan. So I feel like we should probably put it on hold, not stopping her development, but to see what else she can do for us to receive our money back. That's what I think should happen.
That's what we're
Not
doing.
saying that she's not going to get it, but let her take another route to see
She's
if
tried
she
everything.
can do something else.
Have you tried everything?
I've tried what was recommended for me to do.
Because I just only think it's fair to be able to get the money back. Because she had already had $100 and something thousand, which is a lot of money. And I can very understand her project is putting money back into the city. But this was her idea, saying that she would give back the money. So I don't think we should piggyback on to just give it to her for free. I think we should be able to get our money back. That's how I feel. I don't know how. Because
So that's the intention. It is, after this, I'm planning on trying to come back and propose a partnership with Brownfield. So getting the money back, I wouldn't come in here and say, asking for the loan without the intention of paying the loan back. So that was the intention, and it's
Intent, yeah,
yeah.
because you went all out
right,
to try to get a bond to pay it back.
right.
But I do think that it should be paid back, and I don't think it should be.
We should have,
I mean, a lien on one of your properties is.
okay,
probably-
Mr.
I don't know.
Okay.
He has his hand
So
up. Y'all quit talking.
okay, so I'll try to look and see.
I apologize for not being familiar with the King's Court, but if I understand correctly, we gave you $150,000, and that was in the form of a grant that was not repayable, correct? Right. And that $150,000, you were able to establish how many properties?
So I have a total of 21 doors.
Are these single
but
family or multis?
You said what? Single families and multi units.
Are these units free and clear, or do you have loans against these units?
Let me see, two I have HELOC with.
Okay, so home equity line of
Yeah.
credit. Okay, against two of the properties.
Yes.
Okay, what about the other single family or multis? Do you have liens on those?
No.
So what's your reluctance to use those as collateral to secure the $25,000 this time around?
Because
If we were to say yes.
Because these properties that I'm in right now, I have other developments that's in the work. And so that was the initial reason I did not want to do another a home equity line of credit, or have a lien attached to any additional properties. And so it was also proposed that's when the surety bond came into place.
Just to piggyback on the surety bond, did you call Bovo bonds? Did you check with them? Bovo, B-O-V-O? I know they do bonds. Yeah.
So no, I didn't check with Bovo. I checked with Progressive. I checked with IMS, State Farm, and it was
So those are all insurance.
so
Yeah.
there was flaw. Yep. Okay.
Because I
Okay.
know
So
that
no, I didn't call Bovo. So I guess
that would be I would recommend that, because I know when people buy vehicles and they're unsure of where they're getting vehicles from, if they're going to be stolen or
So that's-
whatever, they can go and get a bond for that vehicle. You know, if they pay 10, 15, 20,000 for a car, Secretary of State makes them go get a bond for that vehicle. So they can there are bonds out there.
So
that cover
flaw
that.
insurance, I think, because I did that before with a vehicle. So it's different from what I've told, and Teresa helped me out, is if I'm getting the work, like what you guys are asking for is something different from me saying, like, this work is going to happen. And having a surety bond on the work opposed to the property.
Well, we would just want our money protected, and like I said, you have free and clear properties that you're unwilling to
Right,
use
so
as
that's
collateral.
put a lien on the property.
I mean, that would, and at least
Okay.
ensure that we would get our money in case you defaulted. It depends on what the value of the properties are as
Right.
well.
And so one of the things was the interest rate and the time was I think was it a 5-year, Teresa? Okay. Okay. So I haven't checked with Bobo. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So a couple points. One, you do have housing, property, project policy guidelines. It says the primary way that you will support these types of projects is through a brownfield plan. So we did the math. There was going to be very little increment, so it's kind of like, when's the juice worth the squeeze? If you spend this money preparing the plan, implementing the plan, and there's not enough tax increment generated to pay her back. So this board chose to grant her free and clear $150,000. She has completed a lot of that work. A lot of the board has seen it. It's great work. But initially, that was, okay, until this project is completed, and then we moved that up. This is a separate loan. Again, typically when boards are loaning these dollars out through their LBRF, it would be a mechanism of reimbursement through tax increment. That's the primary way these boards function, is through these tools you have in place with statute, is through the tax increment. Can you donate money? Can you do a grant or a loan? Yes, you can. That's probably not your primary way. It's also not your responsibility to fully finance or majority finance projects. So that's just something to keep in mind. You have donated significantly. It was my recommendation that you have expended a significant portion of administrative expense in working through all of this, that you are not recouping through a brownfield plan, that we kind of call it a day where we were. This board chose to move forward with a loan. We can still continue to move forward if you want us to explore other options. Part of it may be going through insurance agencies and not an actual bonding agency or surety, so they might be more familiar with the security bond or the different types of bonds. So that's still an option that we can explore that. The other thing I will say, even though you took action to extend this loan, we still need to put the agreement in place, and that was with the understanding that a bond would work. Once we get to having an agreement, it's up to Ms. King, if we had a bond, if we had a lien, whether she wants to do that. Does that make financial sense for her and her standings with her other lenders to do that? It may or may not. And so I just want you to keep that in mind. It's not your responsibility to fully finance these projects. So if you want us to continue working on options, we will do that, but I just wanted to point that out. And then next on our agenda, we do have what you're legally allowed to spend your funds on.
So I'll reach out to Bobo. To Bobo.
Okay. Well, you just continue to work with her. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. King.
Mr. Bennett, he's still down there on Main Street? Bobo? His office? Yeah, I think his office is on. You know where his office is?
I thought he was a bail bond.
Yeah, he is a bail bond, but I think he was on Main Street, isn't he?
Well, bail.
Directly across from the old Pillar Center.
Okay, that's where he's at. All right, thank you.
Would you like me to go into this
Yes.
revenue stream matrix? Okay. This is going to be very high level. It's 6:30, respectful of everyone's time. There has been discussion that strategy planning is extremely needed with this board to understand how do you want to direct those funds. A big part of that is what are you legally required to do with Act 381. My intention tonight is just very high level, give you what you can. Another part of that is what are your goals? Ms. Chandler mentioned earlier, we should be in alignment with the city's master plan. That makes sense. You know, what are your missions to spur economic development? So
Yeah.
all of those things come into play, and we likely need to set aside other time to dive deep into that strategy planning. But just very quickly, and this can be provided as a resource we can come back to later, so I'm not going to do a super deep dive. But these are the last 2 pages of your packet. They fold out. So the first one is this revenue stream matrix. So essentially how this is set up is, how could a Brownfield Authority get your funds? Where do they come from and how can you use them? So this first column is kind of your general funds, all the way to the left. So, you know, if you had an application fee, which you do, you have a small fee if people apply for projects, that's a resource. If someone happened to donate funds, or if the city had funds they donated to you, those two typically don't apply, but, so typically you're getting funds from your brownfield projects. That's the main mechanism of how this board receives funds and has funding to support projects. Alternately, if you were successful in securing an EPA grant, that could be another source. So in your general funds, you can use anything that's allowable by the statute, Act 381, our Brownfield Redevelopment Financing Act. And the next page tells us what we can do with that. So second column over, we have our administrative tax increment revenue capture. So basically says, we have a brownfield plan in place, and we said we were going to capture a small portion of that for our administrative expenses. Those are our true actual costs of administering and operating the authority. Part of that could be marketing, paying your consultant, paying your legal fee, you know, all those costs that you have to run the board. Next, the third column from the left. Okay, we still have quorum. Okay. Let me just note the time. Bear with me just a second. Yes, we do. Okay, so this is our local brownfield revolving fund. So every brownfield plan that you have in place, the last 5 years are typically set aside for capture. After the developer has been reimbursed, the Brownfield Authority can continue to capture for 5 years. This helps you create a sustainable fund so that you can support other projects in your community. You still have to use those 4 eligible activities in accordance with Act 381. So it can't just be like, this sounds good, we want to do that. It still has to be an eligible activity defined by Act 381. And then all the way to the right, there are state and federal programs that may apply. Eagle has some loans that, you know, typically a developer can't apply on their own. They have to go through a local unit of government or a Brownfield Authority. So you may be able to apply for grants and loans on behalf of a specific project or developer. So those will all be defined by those specific program of how you use them. So that's just how you could potentially get money. The second page, again, I know I'm going through this really fast. This is something you can refer back to. This is exactly taken word from word from statute on what you can use what is considered an eligible activity. So we have department-specific activities, if you'll see in green, and then it's called out in green on the right, so you can see, you know, what are those things. Essentially, this is kind of our environmental cleanup we might have to do, response actions that might be required. Things like asbestos abatement, demolition, all of those things are eligible. Well, let me keep going. Let's jump down to our blue here on the left for housing property located in a community that has an identified specific housing need and has absorption data or growth data included in the brownfield plan. So you do have a housing need here. Any of these brownfield plans would include that data. You can include everything over here on the right. Rehab units for rental housing, Qualified means that we have that affordability piece associated with it. We can use it for infrastructure costs, we can use it for demolition, temporary household relocation costs. Acquisition, this is only for housing, if we have blighted or obsolete rental units, so we might need that designation from an assessor, and we're gonna acquire those units specifically for housing, then the acquisition can sometimes be eligible. And then, again, this is only with housing, we might have this financing gap. It costs this much to construct, we wanna do it at this affordable rate, we're losing money, and MISHDA tells us how to do that. Back over to the left in the pink, if you are a qualified local government unit, which the city of Benton Harbor is, then you have additional activities you can support, infrastructure and site prep. Those are included in housing, but if it's not housing, those typically are not eligible if you're not a core community or qualified unit of government, but you are, so you have extra tools available to you. And then there's also properties that are under the control of a land bank, have other qualifications as well. Then there's specific things about transformational brownfield plans and a qualified facility that's kind of a very specific definition. So we don't have time to do a deep dive in this, but anytime we're thinking about funding, this is what you should have in mind. There are good things happening in the community that are worth supporting. It may or may not be a right fit for this board. So these are the types of activities that are eligible activities for a Brownfield Authority.
And you know,
And Kings Court meets those.
it does, it does. And that's what I was looking at. And the one with the city being a governmental arm of the Brownfield, it's always been that way for Public Act 381. These other ones, though, to help out with development throughout the community is something that hasn't always been. And that's why we have people like, but we need something in place to,
So the last thing I want to point out, we've mentioned it before, but we have several new board members now, and it's worth repeating anyways. Your primary tool is a brownfield plan. How that works is you have a developer come in, they own a property, they're paying their taxes, we have a certain taxable value of that property. Now, if they want to invest in their property and redevelop it, the taxable value is going to go up because they've increased the value through the redevelopment. Act 381 allows certain eligible activities, which we just saw on that sheet, to be reimbursed. So that means the developer is using their own money, or they're getting a loan through financing, or however they're securing the collateral and the financing to complete that project. They're paying for those costs. They pay their taxes like normal, the higher tax rate, but we can collect that portion and reimburse them for these costs that are eligible. So when you use a brownfield plan, the Brownfield Authority does not need significant resources to do that. The developer could get $200,000, they could get $1 million back if it's eligible, but the way those finances are available is because they invested in that property. They paid their taxes. It was their money that essentially is getting paid back. So the difference is if you're directly granting or loaning through your LBRF, is those are direct costs to this board. So it is a little bit different in mechanism through a brownfield plan or direct financing.
It's a little bit different, but it's the same in that we required her to show expenditures that would have been reimbursed.
And you're required by law. If you didn't have
Exactly.
those and you were audited,
exactly.
that would be extremely
But see,
problematic.
that's what you have to understand. That's required of those that enter into a development agreement.
Yeah, whether it's a brownfield plan or direct financing, and that's always required.
Whether it's a grant or a loan. We
Right, well, typically it's a brownfield plan, but, or if it's a grant, any of those three scenarios, it's always required. That's by statute. You have to have that proof of documentation.
Okay. So how can I make the request again for a board retreat, a board educational session, something? I mean,
Right now,
now he's saying, he's saying that we need to come together and have a definite policy. Well, unless we do, it's not gonna happen.
I mean,
I mean, we do have something in place now that we can follow, but I think, as a board, we're on the same page with how we're going to move forward. Whether it be in percentages, this percent will be for these types of things, or
Well-
however we decide.
now that the weather is lifting up and Teresa may find herself in town more often than usual, with taking care of some other business, and she knows she's going to be here, maybe you can set an appointed time to meet with us in an evening or something till we can make our plan.
we can definitely set up a retreat.
Yeah.
If board members are available and can set time outside of these meetings.
And in doing so-
Otherwise, we can try to fit it into regular meetings, but
Okay.
we're going to definitely have to streamline discussions if we
Yeah.
want to try and fit that strategy planning within a regular meeting.
Is it also possible if we ourselves can put together our own development plan?
What do you mean
I
by
don't,
development plan?
it's impossible because it's not for us to, well, we can. We can actually look at, actually, I think you stated it because that was the purpose that I used to ask all of the city managers for the past 12 years to please stop auctioning off the properties at the county level and let's hold them in the city and until we get this type of funding to do the rehabs, to put these homes back on, to do what the Kings are doing.
But now,
That was the purpose.
brownfields automatically
Yeah.
going to
That was the
to land
purpose.
bank?
No.
Our brownfields, aren't we under, I thought that's what I learned at the
No.
the thingy, that now, all of our stuff automatically goes to the land bank. And renders it some kind of special project or whatever.
What you may be referring to is those extra, so if you're a core community, or if it was owned or under the control of a land bank, you can do the public infrastructure and site prep. That's traditional non-housing. Or if it's housing, those are included with some considerations. But none of your projects go through the land, I don't think you have a local land bank. You likely have a county land bank, Berrien County. But I'm not aware of any projects you're currently working on with the land bank.
Our brownfields automatically are entered into this land bank that gives us some kind of special process.
You don't need that because you're already a qualified local unit of government.
Okay. So we don't have to use the land bank.
No, and to my knowledge, you typically don't.
Okay.
I have, I haven't asked, and I was just speaking with a board member over here, because it does speak about individuals. In the charts that you just showed, and within this, the properties that, the funding that we gave the city to do some demolition work. 741, I pleaded to be cleaned up with those funds, or if we had to add extra funds because it was unfair for it not to be cleaned up. Again, that was 471 Highland, on the corner of Highland and McCord. And I think that that's a project that this Brownfield Authority should take on to clean up. Because it's very thing that Mr. Little was just talking about earlier. And it's one of the things that we, Teresa?
Well, I really want to be respectful of everyone's time. We're dropping like flies, we're about to lose quorum. So, I mean, I think just, the bottom line is, we need some time and space,
Can we put
dedicated
that on-
opportunity to do some strategic planning.
Can we put on the agenda?
So,
7:41.
agenda next month to talk about strategic planning? Would
That
you
as
like me,
well.
I could potentially poll the board if you have any availability outside of regular meetings? Okay, can you direct me to do so?
To direct Teresa to get with any of the board members in their spare time that may fit with hers to gain some educational.
To poll the board on
to
availability
pull
for
the board
strategic
on
planning?
availability for strategic
Okay.
planning. Does that sound all right?
Thank you. So I think that concludes our business of
It
what?
does. And with that, Teresa, you have some checks here that are signed, and if any members have comments, feel free to jump in. Well, good.
Okay, all right, we're about to leave, so
Can
if we
can
could
I
get
have
a motion to adjourn?
adjourn?
I second that
Thank you.
Support?
motion.
He seconded the motion?
Oh,
The meeting is adjourned at 6:46. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. I gotta find out, I gotta go back and research what I'm talking about, with that land bank, because when I heard it initially, I was like, well, this is good